Domestication is the process of adapting wild plants and animals for human use. Domestic species are raised for food, work, clothing, medicine, and many other uses. Humans have been domesticating animals for more than 10,000 years in order to meet their needs. Dogs were likely the first animals to be domesticated, followed by livestock. Around the same time, plants were first intentionally planted to produce a harvest. The term livestock refers to animals that are kept for agricultural purposes. They include cows, pigs, chicken, sheep, goats, and many others. Those used as livestock were among the first animals to be domesticated about 11,500 years ago in Mesopotamia. Animals that required the least human effort were often domesticated before others. Animals that graze on their own, such as cows, required the least effort, so they were domesticated first. Animals that eat grain were domesticated after. Once livestock began to be domesticated, people did not have to travel to keep up with the herds that supplied their food. It allowed them to begin to farm and eventually led to the formation of cities, trade, written language, and society. Humans could also use animal products. They could use milk and eggs to add more nutritional value to their diets, and they could use wool to make clothes. A reliable source of leather was also useful for clothing, and it was also used for tents and storage. Over time, people have bred domesticated animals to promote certain traits. Domestic animals are chosen for their ability to breed in captivity and for their calm temperament. Their ability to resist disease and survive in difficult climates is also valuable. For example, when chicken were first domesticated, they normally weighed about 2 pounds and only produced a few eggs each year. After thousands of years of humans selecting the best animals, chickens now often weigh more than 15 pounds and can lay 200 eggs each year. Human domestication of livestock was an important event that has had a massive impact on everything since.
Although most animals were bred for the purposes of food and labor, some worked closer with humans and usually had closer relationships with them as well. Examples include cats and guinea pigs, as well as the foremost species in this category, the dog. The origin of the domestic dog is shrouded in mystery, but their ancestry can be traced to an unknown species of wolf, which has since gone extinct. Their time of domestication is estimated to be from 36,000 to 15,000 years ago by Stone Age hunter-gatherers. Despite having had many uses throughout their long history, including hunting, law enforcement, pest control, and as pets, in the very beginning, their primary use to humans was probably as an easily accessible source of meat. The dog, unlike most other domesticated plants and animals, was universal throughout the world, having been brought to practically all inhabited areas of the world in prehistoric times. It is thought that the first place dogs were bred for specific traits was on the remote Zhukov Island around 8,000 years ago. Archaeological remains show two sizes of dogs existed on the island at the same time. A smaller dog, which was used to pull sleds, and a larger dog, which probably aided humans in hunting polar bears. Similar specialized breeds eventually emerged throughout the world. Some breeds, like Chihuahuas or the Pekingese, were kept by nobles of their respective societies and weren't bred for any practical use. This goes to show the intricate and strong relationship that humans have formed with dogs over the millennia they've coexisted together.
Horses influenced many aspects of human history, from communication and transportation to warfare and agriculture. Nevertheless, many experts surprisingly don't know how they were tamed. They may have first been domesticated 30,000 years ago because of the cave drawings by Paleolithic humans who probably hunted them for meat. The earliest example of horses becoming pets from prey was a prehistoric bowtie culture, which dates back to Kazakhstan in 3500 BC. Many experts believe these people of the Eurasian steppes were the first to tame the wild horse, about 5,000 years ago. They were tamed like the sheep and cattle, and many DNA analyses have revealed little genetic variation between these animals. Oddly enough, it is believed that the horses were tamed in many different places at the same time. In Western Europe, horses were tamed around the same time as they were tamed in the Eurasian steppes. This resulted in many different breeds of horses to appear. Trade like the Silk Road exposed these breeds to each other, creating the horses we know today. Horses have been the most used things in warfare and agriculture as long as transport, and human civilization will be completely different without them. Nowadays, horses are mainly used by the Amish in America and for various other hobbies.
The domestication of plants, which essentially defined the first agricultural revolution, also known as the Neolithic Revolution, occurred worldwide between 10,000 and 2000 BC, probably first near the Middle East and the Fertile Crescent. Other areas that domesticated plants around or shortly after were ancient Egypt, the Indus Valley Civilization, China, Mesoamerica, and the Andine region in South America. The first plants to be domesticated were cereal crops such as wheat, barley, and peas. Knowledge of plant domestication is very limited due to how long ago it occurred, but many inferences suggest that these plants were domesticated over a long period of time through coevolution with humans involving selective breeding, as well as some unintentional luck. The crops were initially planted by hand, but quickly led to advances in tool production. The earliest farming tools were hand tools made from stone, but people later developed metal farming tools and eventually used plows pulled by domesticated animals to work fields. Overall, the domestication of plants helped transform humanity from hunter-gatherer societies to full-fledged, self-sustaining civilizations. People could now settle down and provide for themselves in the same area, allowing for the first permanent settlements. The surplus of food allowed people to begin pursuing new occupations other than just providing food, such as scientists, mathematicians, architects, soldiers, doctors, etc. The surplus also allowed for a massive increase in population, meaning even more ideas and innovations and more societal progress. These settlements would attract more people to the community, and supplemented with the greater birth rates would result in greater exchange of ideas and the settlement's continual growth into the eventual creation of cities and an extremely advanced and complex society. From food to transportation to protection, there's no question that humanity would be nowhere even remotely near where it is today without the domestication of other species. Without this new way of life, we would just be normal animals living at the mercy of nature, always searching for our next meal, constantly in danger of potential predators, and disconnected from nearly the entire world. With all that being said, we can confidently conclude by saying that the most important innovation in human history was the domestication of plants and animals. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to smash that like button and have a fantastic day.